Hi guys, how you doing? I just wanted to make a few comments on this Twitter topic that's been trending over the last couple of days. Nasaan ang Pangulo? Oh, where is the president? It seems to me that the opposition seems to be used to this particular style whereby they would expect regular photo shoots or they would expect photo opportunities. So every single time the vice president would hand out some relief goods or hand out some food or whatever it may be, there would be a camera, and I've even seen a photo with the greatest respect of the vice president where she's been with these boxes and goods are being packed and she's standing there and there's a photo opportunity, and then there's the various press conferences as well. And then I remember ex-Senator Trillianis where he would hold regular press conferences almost on a daily basis. The second there was an issue, he would hold a press conference. And the thing is, I think the opposition have come to expect that any time any public official would do something, there would be a massive campaign around it. For example, in many provinces of the Philippines, every single time a mayor would buy a van or would sponsor a school, they would have their name written right across it, or the name of the politician, or the name of the donor or whatsoever. Now, what I understand is that throughout the leadership of President Duterte in Davao, and throughout the leadership now of Mayor Sara and the rest of the Duterte family, they're not into all that. They've stripped off donated by from all of the ambulances, all of the vehicles. So it becomes a gift from the city government, because the reality is the administration, if you like, or the government of the day, give money to local governments. And that's not their money, that's the taxpayers' money, which gets sent down to local governments. So if some mayor or some congressman or whatsoever has a sum of money and they write their name all over a building, maybe I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I can see, it's not come out of their own personal pocket. Yes, if it has come out of their own personal pocket, and yes, if they want to share that, that's absolutely fine. If they want to tell the world that they gave that particular product or whatever it may be, then that's fine. I've got no issue with that. The only point I'm trying to make is that's the style that many of the Philippine public, or at least the 3%, that's the style that they're used to. They're used to seeing all this fanfare every single time the vice president visits a school or reads a book in a classroom. There's a host of cameramen who would take photos. And that's the thing, the fact is, when people have been asking, Nasaan ang Pangulo, people are asking, where's the president? It's not the supporters of President Duterte who are asking that. It's people in the opposition. It's the critics. It's the critics of President Duterte and the critics of the administration have been asking, where is the president? Well, I shared something earlier on my Facebook that in the UK we have this system. It's like a command structure where you have this bronze, silver and gold command. And what happens is in the military or in the police, your bronze commander is the first person on scene. It's the highest ranking officer on scene. So in the case of the Philippine government, this would be the governor, this would be the chief of police, the chief of the military, maybe a military advisor who would have been in the area of the typhoon, or what's called the epicenter. There would have been some government official there who I would call the bronze commander, i.e. they're on the ground, they're speaking to the next level about what's happening. So then you have the silver command, and the silver command are the various government agencies in the palace, in the various offices dotted around the palace. for example, the disaster management, the weather meteorological center, or whatever, and all of the police command, the fire command, they would be your silver structure. Now, these people are not going to go to the site. The most likelihood is that your bronze commander is already on the site. For example, your local governor lives within the community of the epicenter, so they can't vanish or disappear because they are your eyes and ears on the ground, and they are expected to stay there. I've even heard something whereby those who then left the area are being questioned. So they're the people on the ground. Then your silver command are your various boards, your various disaster committees who President Duterte would meet with. And then you have your gold commander. Now, your gold commander provides strategic advice, strategic leadership, and is in ultimate charge. Now, your strategic leader in this incident would be President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Now, the thing is, in any emergency, you want to keep your assets safe. You want to keep your gold commander in some bunker somewhere, or you want to keep them protected. God forbid, if there was ever any kind of serious attack in the Philippines, you have your bronze people on the ground, you have your silver people tucked up away in some office, and all of your important people are whisked away through some special area with escorts and security, and they are not seen. You don't expect to see them. But believe me, you know that behind the scenes, they are coordinating, they are planning, they are coming up with a strategy, they are promoting, they are deciding on the budget, and they are in ultimate control. But the thing is, the thing that I say to the opposition is this: unless you want to put a webcam on President Duterte, unless you want him to wear some kind of helmet with a webcam on, or have somebody following him around with a camera 24/7, why is it any of your concern as to where he is? You know he is the President of the Republic of the Philippines. You know he's going to be doing his very best for the country, and you know that he is going to be leading the Philippine people, and he's not a one-man band. He's not on a desert island by himself. He has appointed generals, he's appointed people in the military for exactly that reason, because they understand the command structure, and they understand that he's the ultimate boss, he's the general, then all of the people he's appointed are his colonels, and then on the ground you have the majors, and that's exactly how it works, and people need to understand that. President Duterte is not a man for constant photos. President Duterte is not a man who relishes selfies and meeting people and smiling at Holocaust memorials or whatsoever. You know, the president is not a person like that, and people need to understand that. People need to understand the style of the president of the Philippines. He is a humble man. He is a father of the Filipino people. Now, to those people who said that they wanted to see him on the day of the recent Typhoon Rolly, I would say this: why would you expect the president to fly a helicopter or fly a plane or whatsoever on the day of the typhoon? Why would you expect him to take transport to the area? You know, I knew this already. It just really wound me up, because people are saying, where is our president? Well, our president was wide awake 24/7. Our president was asking when he could jump in a helicopter and survey the scene. But, you know, it didn't make any sense for him to do that during the typhoon, because that would be a little bit dangerous, because he's the head of state. He's the head of the Republic of the Philippines. So the thing to do is to keep him safe, keep him secure, and when there is no more danger, then he goes to the airport, he boards a helicopter, he flies to the scene, he makes a survey, he meets with the board, he approves the budget, the building work gets done, the necessary resources come into play. For example, the army, they were there, the military were there. Of course they were, but the fact is, they are also waiting for further instructions. Had this lasted for 2 weeks, I'm no doubt you would have seen the president actually on camera somehow. But this all happened within 24, 48 hours, and you don't expect the president to be standing in front of a camera 24 hours a day, particularly when the president wasn't actually getting any sleep, because I have no doubt, like any father, any concerned father, President Duterte was sitting in front of a computer monitor or a television or whatsoever, and he was watching exactly what was happening. He was listening to the information from his military advisors and his key advisors, the governors, the generals, all of the people who he had appointed, and he was deciding on the next course of action. You know, I don't know what you wanted the president to do. Would you want him to stand there and say, "I'm here," or something like that, and maybe go for a photo shoot? Would you want him to maybe cook some pancit and bring some pancit to the disaster site and hand out that pancit to the survivors? The thing is, a lot of preparation went into this, a lot of planning went into this before it actually happened. The president was not caught off guard. It wasn't the case that loads of people lost their lives and that no preparation was made or anything like that. The fact is that 1 million Filipinos were evacuated from the coastal areas before this typhoon took place. This is why there was such a low death toll. I have to be honest. I was personally worried that more people would have died, and I too have been thinking about this, and I've been praying about this, and I've been watching the news and everything. And you know, I'm just an ordinary person. I'm not even only a Filipino citizen. So you can imagine what the president of the Philippines was doing. So, you know, it's easy to bash. It's easy to say, where is the president? It's like you want constant assurance 24 hours a day. Isn't there a little bit of age discrimination in that? If the president was 35 years old and, I don't know, did a marathon every day, maybe you wouldn't constantly want to check in to see whether he was still alive. But that seems to be the way the opposition want to play it. As far as I'm concerned, they seem to want that constant reassurance that the president is still with us. You know, you only have to look at the Philippine Constitution. And the Philippine Constitution said if the president is incapacitated or if he has a serious illness, then of course the vice president of the Philippines, in this case Leni Robredo, would take charge. That's fine, that's understood and everything. But the fact is, the president is very well. The fact is, the president is 75 years old. But yet he still attends, jumps in helicopters, he still attends conferences, he's still leading the Philippines, he's still of sound mind, he's still reasonably healthy. You know, he said this himself, and this has been said for a man of 75. He is not 100% healthy, but neither is any other 75-year-old. The president has a lot more strength than me, and I'm not even 50. You know, the president has unbelievable strength and unbelievable resolve because the president is sick and tired of corruption. The president is sick and tired of the issues that have occurred in the past, and the president of the Philippines wants a better Philippines. So every single time there's a disaster in the country, every single time there's a wind, a typhoon, or whatever it may be, the opposition will be asking, where's the president? So what do you want to do? Do you want him to install a monitor in his room? Do you want him to check in every half hour? Would you like to attach some device to him that would give you his heart rate and his breathing rate constantly? What is it that you want to achieve? Be aware, please be aware, and please understand that the Philippines is doing very well at the moment. The Philippines is very safe at the moment, and the Philippines is being led very, very well. And finally, the white sand beach of Manila, the Dolomite, if you like, it's still there. There's been a typhoon in the Philippines and it's still sitting there pretty. It just frustrates me that people are trying to constantly find ways of being critical of the administration and being critical of the work of the president is doing. But I think, in turn, the president should be congratulated because during Typhoon Rodney, a very small amount of people lost their lives. The president was listening very carefully today to the needs of the area, i.e., what financial needs there were, and he was asking what needs to be done. And I guarantee that any work that gets done will be done properly. And it won't be the case of let's go to the highest bidder, let's take a little cut for myself. I have no doubt that the restorative work in that area of the Philippines, Albay, etc., will be done properly and promptly. So if you're asking where's the president right now, I'm very sure, is finding the resources to be able to repair what needs to be repaired. And again, I hope you don't mind me saying this. This is just my personal opinion, and I feel I have every right to share it. I'm just frustrated at people asking all the time, where is the president? Where is the president? Like you want him to appear on a daily basis. Thanks, guys.